Hey, what's up guys, Rev here. So recently there's been a lot of talk about GamerGate, and during this time, gaming journalists and other members of the video game industry have taken advantage of this opportunity to give their woke analysis on various topics, including the topic of female video game characters and their designs. Because those people will try to convince you that you're a bigot and a misogynist for not liking this character design, while also trying to convince you that you're a loser and a creep for liking character designs like this. And that whole cycle there is highlighted by this recent Mary Sue article. If you don't know them, they operate a lot like Kotaku and other gaming journalists, where they're essentially a monetized humiliation fetish where people only go to their articles to make fun of them. But this article is titled, "Stellar Blade's Design Isn't the Problem, It's How Creepy Men Are Being About It," where this author, of course, ignores all of the women out there who like Eve's design from Stellar Blade and also other attractive female video game characters. But let's get into the article. It says, of course, men being creepy about female characters is nothing new. The hypersexualization of women in media, from TV to movies to video games, is a decades-old ongoing issue. However, it is especially a problem in video games, as it's estimated about 61% of those working in the video game industry are male. Now, I'm going to give you a very hot take here. Share what you guys think. 61%, that's pretty good. I think that's a pretty fair ratio. I mean, think about that. You have 10 gaming employees in a room together, and 4 of them are women. What's the next Mary Sue article going to be about? The lack of female representation in the coal mining industry? I think not. But continuing, they say, additionally, although it has been found that women now make up about half of the gaming community, there are misconceptions that gamers are still predominantly male. Hence, from Lara Croft to Bayonetta, women in video games have been constantly heavily sexualized to appeal to men. Just like other feminists who have given their opinion on video game characters, they look at characters like Bayonetta, for example, and they see that a lot of men and women like them, and they go, ugh, nope, wrong. You know, they beg for more female representation in video games, and then when they get one, they're like, no, not like that. No, she's too attractive. Too many men like her. She doesn't count. She's not representation or proper representation. It happens over and over. But if you continue in the article, you see this section highlighted right here. Recently, conservatives formulated a conspiracy theory that Sweet Baby Inc. was behind improving the treatment of women in video games and the inclusion of diverse characters, resulting in them boycotting the company. Yes, another gaslighting journalist trying to treat the very fair criticism of Sweet Baby Inc. as some kind of an alt-right conspiracy theory. Yeah, opinion discarded if it wasn't already. But going forward, it wasn't just games journalists saying these things about Eve from Stellar Blade. We also have Twitter users saying this. I know people find it funny when women say that the games industry objectifies women, but, how do you excuse this outfit? This straight up is just a creepy dude magnet. Ah, yes. For the male gaze, they missed the chance to use that wonderful phrase. But you can see it's just her bodysuit, and this person saying it's just straight up creepy to enjoy this. Again, just like the other ones, people enjoy Eve. Both men and women enjoy this character design and other attractive female characters, just like men and women enjoy the sponsor of today's video. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, the Giga Chads at Factor have returned to sponsor this video. Get 50% off your first Factor box and free wellness shots for life using my link. That means you get to choose 2 free wellness shots from 3 available flavors for every order while you're an active subscriber. Click the link in the description or scan the QR code with your phone. Now, what is Factor? It's a trusted pre-made meal delivery service featuring a large category of options for you to enjoy without the hassle of shopping at the grocery store. Look, you're busy. You have anime girls to simp over, gaming journalists to laugh at, and so on and so forth. You don't have the time to go to the grocery store or the patience to cook up complicated recipes. The solution to this problem is, of course, Factor. Factor makes your life easy by bringing pre-made meals right to your doorstep, ready to eat with only a few minutes in the microwave. I love Factor because they offer not only delicious meals, but also high protein and diet conscious meal options for people like me who want to maximize their gains at the gym. Thanks again to Factor for sponsoring this video. Click the link in the description or the pinned comment for all of the relevant information you'll need. Now let's jump back into the content. Welcome back. So now we're going to take some time and revisit the page of Carolyn, who is a Kotaku contributor who we've covered a couple times over the past few weeks due to some of her tweets as well as tweets that she has defended, including tweets made by fellow Kotaku contributor Alyssa, who said you can't be racist against white people, which is something that Carolyn staunchly defended. Well, she has made another stinker on Twitter. Like, the only thing more certain than a bad article made by a gaming journalist is a bad tweet. And this one is just that. So it says, when certain dudes encounter a queer or trans person or even a realistic looking woman in a game and lose their shit. And of course, stay away from Tifa. Don't use her for your arguments. Please and thank you. But this idea of even a realistic looking woman as something that triggers the gamers, in particular male gamers, is asinine. And it shows that you're not looking around at what people are talking about in the gaming scene. Because one of the biggest talks of the town right now is Stellar Blade and the main protagonist Eve, who we all know based on other coverage I've done on various videos, the main protagonist is designed after a 3D scan of a real-life Korean model. And people love this character. And I say people because men and women love the design of this realistic-looking character from that franchise. It just shows that Carolyn has absolutely no idea what's going on if she thinks gamers, in particular male gamers, are upset about a character having a realistic look. Now, she would continue to have another meltdown on Twitter, this time saying, in quotes, "We just want games to be apolitical and escapist," end quote. Is that why you're all tweeting like you have to live in a society where trans people don't exist and women are valued based on their traditional femininity and attractiveness to men? Like, even a woman with short hair is too transgressive. Okay, there's a lot of projection and weird claims here, but we're going to focus on this last part, which is the most obviously incorrect part, where they're basically saying men would never want women with short hair, especially in their video games. They think it's something that's transgressive. That is asinine. I mean, do you think people were mad about 2B having short hair? No, people love this character. She became a beloved character in the video game scene, and she had short hair. No one complained. Men and women love this design. And if that's too long of hair for your example, what about characters like Bayonetta, especially in the second installment? She had very short hair, and people found this character to be very attractive and overall enjoyable because they just like the character. They don't even care what her hairstyle looks like, largely because they just enjoy Bayonetta. She's a badass. And that, once again, defies everything that she's trying to say here. And also, when it comes to outrage over characters like Bayonetta, the only time there was really outrage was when it was revealed through official art that she's canonically in a straight relationship with a child. Do you remember the outrage on Twitter when this dropped? It was like the personal 9/11 of a lot of weirdos on Twitter who were genuinely angry to see her in a straight relationship, of course in defiance of their own headcanon, and they got even angrier when they saw what resembles a happy family. Yeah, imagine that. But moving forward, Carolyn had another tweet that would flop quite hard and get made fun of by everyone. It says this: the same people who will say, we just want games to be apolitical again, will then say deeply political stuff like this, making it evident that they want games to reinforce deeply patriarchal, essentialist, and limiting notions of gender, which is not apolitical at all. We have this cropped screenshot of a tweet, leaving out the user so they can't really respond. It says, we play as characters who are much larger than life, but have flaws like us so that we can relate to them. Both male and female characters in video games pre-2014 were designed to be at peak masculine and feminine form. This is why men in video games have defined muscles, are leaders that other men want to follow, and are handsome. The female characters are peak feminine with nice bodies, desirable personalities, and faces with which to fall in love. Notice this last part about desirable personalities, and this is her response. And as other users would point out, woman who works for Kotaku thinks women having desirable personality is unrealistic for women. Yeah, that did not really go the way they expected. That backfired a little bit now, didn't it? But also, we see some other responses from Carolyn saying, LOL, y'all are the ones whining about games featuring queer people and people of color. Which, of course, this isn't really about diversity. It's even more about just wanting to impose your will and your agenda on people and threatening them in the process. We saw this with this tweet from another game dev. They said this: "Say it louder for those in the back. Diversity makes better games. Stop being troglodytes and leave game devs making inclusive/diverse games alone. You'll happily consume their life's work and then come after them. That ecosystem is toxic." Because I know right now that I want game developers on Twitter telling me what's toxic or not. But I would respond personally, before they deleted their tweet, with a screenshot of another member of the industry who had something that's very contradictory to what they said. So this user said, "As a person who advocates for diversity in games, this whole thing is laughable. We have had exactly one female protagonist in the top 25 best-selling games of the last 3 years. That list also includes only one Latino. That's not forced diversity. There is no diversity at all." So what is it, guys? Is there a lot of diversity in the games already? Is that why they're succeeding? Are players buying all these games that are made by people who are supporting this stuff? Or is that not the case at all? Is there no diversity? Also, the self-own of this is unreal. You're talking about how important diversity is while saying only one of the last 25 best-selling games had a female protagonist. I think the market's trying to tell you something there. But anyways, that was a self-own. And of course, like I said, as soon as I shared that, they deleted their tweet, which is very expected. But the overall response to a lot of the things that people like Carolyn are saying is, well, simply, how's Kotaku doing these days? I don't really know why a lot of these journalists think they have the clout that they do. They think that they are all important, that we're back in 2014 and they're running the narrative. They are doing everything in their power to try to gaslight you and attack you and demonize you as gamers to basically benefit themselves and continue whatever grift they're doing. Unfortunately, it's not going very well. It didn't go well in 2014, but it's going even worse here in 2024 because people are not having this again. And no matter how much gaslighting they're doing, people are always going to keep trying to pursue the truth and clapping back at journalists like this, saying absolutely off-the-wall things. But for now, that's going to do it for this video. I appreciate you guys listening. As always, feel free to share your thoughts in the comment section down below, and I'll see you guys next time.